what does it really mean to make a great offering? Today, we're going to dive into this incredible ancient story about a man who was convinced the answer involved a massive, bloody ritual until one single conversation changed absolutely everything for him. So this is the big question driving our whole story. What's the most powerful thing you can possibly give? Is it money, some huge grand gesture, or is it something else completely? Let's keep that in the back of our minds as we meet the man at the center of all this. All right, so let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with this very powerful and respected Brahmin named Kūṭadanta. Now, this guy has it all, wealth, status, the works, but he thinks he has a very, very big problem. See, Kūṭadanta isn't just looking for a small favor. He wants to perform this huge, elaborate ceremony to basically lock in his good fortune and prosperity for a long, long time to come. And you gotta understand, in his culture, this was a massive deal, a way to secure your future. And when I say massive, I am not kidding. Just look at this number, 500 animals, all gathered up, tied to posts, ready to be killed. The scale of it is just, it's staggering. But in his mind, that was the price for his long-term well-being. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Kūṭadanta is a by-the-book kind of guy. He wants to do this thing correctly. So he hears the Buddha knows the secret to a perfect sacrifice, and he goes to him for advice. But get this, he's not looking for an alternative. He's looking for the official instructions on how to perform this bloody ritual. Talk about setting the stage for a fascinating conversation. But the Buddha doesn't just hand him a rule book. He doesn't say, hey, don't do that. No, he does something much, much cleverer. He tells Kūṭadanta a story about an ancient king who was in the exact same boat. So in this story within a story, the king's advisor comes to him with this totally radical idea. He basically says, Your Majesty, before you make offerings to the heavens, you've got to fix the problems right here on the ground first. A stable, happy society, that's the true foundation for any real sacrifice. And check out how he did it. This wasn't just charity, it was a really smart economic plan. He gave farmers what they needed to grow crops. He gave traders the capital to start businesses, and he made sure government employees were paid and fed. By giving people the tools to succeed, he basically pulled out the root cause of crime, poverty, and built a thriving kingdom from the ground up. So only after the kingdom was peaceful and prosperous did the king hold his sacrifice. And man, what a difference. It was a joyful celebration, not an act of violence. No one was forced to work. No animals were killed. It was all done willingly, with simple offerings like butter and honey. I mean, it is the absolute opposite of Kūṭadanta's plan. Okay, so back to Kūṭadanta. He's listening to all this, and he is completely captivated. The light bulb is going off. He totally gets the wisdom of this peaceful approach. But it sparks a new question in his mind, a question that changes the whole direction of the conversation. He asks, is there anything better? And with that one question, the Buddha starts to lay out what's basically a ladder of offerings, where each step up is more meaningful than the last. Our journey up that ladder starts right here. So, the first rung on the ladder, even better than that huge, happy festival, is this: giving perpetual gifts. That means consistent, ongoing support for people who have dedicated their lives to spiritual practice. It's considered better because it's not a one-and-done event. It's a sustained investment in wisdom and goodness. But we're not at the top yet. The ladder keeps going. There's a way to make an even greater impact, one that goes beyond just helping out individuals. So what's better than supporting one person? How about supporting an entire community? The next step up is building a vihara, which is a dwelling place for the whole monastic order. Think about it. You're creating a physical foundation, an infrastructure for spiritual practice that can help countless people for generations. Your one offering multiplies itself over and over. All right, and now we come to a real turning point. The next rung on this ladder is a huge shift. It's no longer about giving something you have. It's about changing who you are. Yeah. This is where the teaching gets really deep. A sacrifice greater than even building a monastery is to make a personal commitment to live an ethical life, to consciously choose day by day not to harm, not to steal, not to lie. This kind of internal transformation is way more valuable than any external gift you could possibly offer. But Kūṭadanta keeps asking, is there anything better? And now we finally reach the very top of the ladder. The Buddha reveals that the ultimate sacrifice isn't a single act at all. It's a complete path of inner development. This is the pinnacle, the whole shebang. It's the full-time job of purifying your actions, training your mind to be calm and focused, and then developing the kind of profound wisdom that just cuts through all confusion. This is the highest offering you can make because its result is the end of suffering itself. That's the ultimate payoff. The text uses this just beautiful image to describe the state of mind that comes from this practice. It's like a deep lake where the water doesn't come from rivers or rain. It just wells up from within, cool and complete. It's a peace that isn't dependent on anything from the outside. That's the fruit of the ultimate sacrifice. So after hearing this incredible teaching, this journey from good government all the way up to inner liberation, the story brings us back to Kūṭadanta. His entire worldview has been turned completely upside down. The question is, what's he going to do now? This is the moment of truth. Kūṭadanta, the man who started out planning a massive animal sacrifice, now sees a totally different path forward, a path that's based on wisdom and compassion. And these are his words. It's so beautiful. He doesn't just cancel the ritual. He says, I grant them their life. And then he actively wishes them well. It's this profound declaration that shows his inner change has become a real, powerful external action. And that's the final powerful lesson, isn't it? In the end, Kūṭadanta's most powerful offering had nothing to do with the ceremony he planned. It was the simple, profound act of compassion that was born from his complete change of heart. So this story leaves us with a really good question for ourselves. Now, we might not be planning any ancient rituals, but we all have our own external things we do, right? The gestures we make. So the real question is, how can we, like Kūṭadanta, learn to transform those outward acts into deeper, more meaningful inner change?